Let me introduce her for first. So she's a Microsoft certified trainer. She have around 14 certificate of Microsoft side. Apart from that, she have done couple of certification on Google side as well. And she is a visionary TechMed co-founder. So I would like not wasting any more time. I would like to go with Diksha. Please, Diksha, that webinar is up to you. Everything is up to you. Thanks for joining and please start.
Yeah, sure. Hello, everyone. I can see a couple of them are familiar faces and they know already. I know them already. Okay. So, yeah, I hope everyone is doing great. And let me share my screen so we can get started. Hello, everyone, and welcome to the session. So, this webinar we have conducted basically for all the data professional, and recently I'm getting so many queries related to starting with some courses or moving into data domain in Azure side and the certification plan. So recently Microsoft also has launched a couple of different certification like a DP600 and other changes also they have done in DP203. So we are going to talk about all those areas, and as well as we are going to talk about, okay, if you are new, because I can see some of them are familiar faces in the webinar, as well as I can see some of them are new, and they are, I got an inquiry also before that. So maybe we'll be starting from very basic. So who are already familiar about this data professional tracks, so or maybe already got a train from me, so in that case it will be like a brush up for you, where we are going to start and what are the domain and the things you can choose. And now this is also like the new course changes that has been made. So so welcome everyone for the session and let's get started. So let me quick introduce myself. So myself Diksha Sharma and I'm Microsoft certified trainer. I am a 14 certification into Azure, as well as a 3 times certified into GCP, and now into the Snowflake and the other data engineering and data warehouse also. Currently, I am a cloud solution architect and delivery head in couple of different organization, and co-founder on the Visionary TechMate side. Here, I am bringing up my knowledge and sharing insight with you to start your journey in the Azure cloud side with reference to data domain. So let's talk about, or let's look at today's agenda, where we are going to see in detail like what are the key domain or key aspects we have. Feel free to put your questions in the chat, or maybe your thoughts or anything that you want to discuss. At the end, we are going to spend some more time to discussing all those areas or all your questions also. So here we are going to talk about, okay, as a data professional, what are the key different data professional you will see, like data analyst, data engineer, and data architect or data scientist. Apart from that, if you are coming into Azure, what are the key services are going to come in the picture that will be helpful for you? Okay, and what are the job role basically play by each data professional on those areas? And the second thing is basically if you are doing some customized plans you have that, okay, I'm interested to learn XYZ services only on Azure. So how we can get started, or I'm planning to do some full-fledged certification related to data professional. So what are the certifications path also? That also I'm going to cover. So that is basically agenda, the whole that we have planned. Apart from that, here if we talk about, okay, here like if this webinar is majorly focused into the data related key domain area, but yeah, I'll be giving some insight on the different aspects also. So here if you see in the data domain side, you will have majorly 3 different segments available. First one you have is the data analyst, where person or people are going to be more preferably are going to show you not data in the form of raw, like in the native format, like Excel file. If you are going to represent someone, they will not get a complete insight. Okay, like let's take an example. I have some pharma company. Okay, they are producing medicine and everything. Now they want to calculate like how many medicine has been produced, what is the sales, what is the revenue, what how many order has been come, what are the new clients, and everything detail. If I'm going to show in the management in the raw format or in the basically your tabular format, it's not giving a meaningful insight to showcase them. So here your data analyst comes in the picture, who is going to give you the complete insight of your data. Okay, like how your data is going to look like, what is the storytelling you can do basically with the help of data if you are going with the data analyst option. So data analyst is something that is going to help you to share the insight, meaningful information of your data that could be leveraged to showcase to higher management. Like I am going to display that, okay, I have a 6 year old data, but my management want to show, okay, this year how much sales has been done. So a data analyst is responsible to do all those aspects. And for that, they have a different tools, services are available in the market that they are using. Like might be if you guys are working in the data analyst side, so you might have heard uh, basically you are Power BI, you have heard ClickView, ClickSense, Tableau, Looker. These are some common data analysis tool that basically are going to be used for different organization as per the different use case. So Microsoft is providing Power BI, and similar way GCP is providing Looker. Okay, and there are some other tools also available that is quite popular. ClickView, ClickSense, Tableau also are quite popular that you have seen. Now, second is basically data engineer, where most of us has started as our journey. Like I have also started as a data engineer, and I can see some of you also are coming up from the data engineering background only. So yeah, so data engineer is basically the person who is going to play a key role between both the areas. Okay, so data engineer who is providing data to this guy, data analyst, and data engineer is the same guy who is providing data to data scientist. So this is going to be work like as a middleman. So if any data related aspects questions comes up, okay, hey, I need to get the data of the sales, finance, or any domain data. Like I'm just giving the example respected to any pharma company or anything. So how the data reach to till this point where the visualization can be happen? How data is going to be reached till this point where ML model can be built? That is going to take care by data engineer. That's your job basically if you are working as a data engineer, where you are going to be work from different source, different domain data, doing different operations, transformation, calculation, cleaning of data, and then storing in the database, data warehouse, data lake. That also we are going to be covered. And then the data engineer is going to provide that data as per the requirement. So we are going to be work like as a backbone in the whole data flow or data processing. That is basically end-to-end process to picking up the data, doing the analysis, doing the transformation, providing the data to both consumers. Okay, so that is your data engineer. And what are the key skills needed over here? What are the specific languages required that we are going to be covered in this also. Then the next you have is a data scientist, and right now you can see data scientists or AI ML engineers jobs is quite in demand also. So everyone is aware in the data scientist side, they will do the data model and do the prediction as per that. Like for example, same that pharma company example we were taking over there. Like I want to see that, okay, this year this much sales has been done. So what are the different key aspects I invest in this upcoming financial year? On that basis my revenue will going to be increased. So those type of predictions, or maybe the calculation or data model or machine learning models you are going to be built, that is going to take care by the data scientist. So data analyst is going to work on the data that you have, data scientist that is going to work on data you have, but it is going to prediction on the upcoming uh, statistics. Okay, on that, what type of data you are going, what type of changes you need to do, or what is the forecasting basically you will get with the help of the data scientist over here. And data engineer is going to gather the requirement both the area, and with respect to that it is going to provide the required information or required data or all the transformations that is needed. So let me know in comment section currently you are at which section, or you want to become a data analyst, data engineer, or data scientist, or currently you are working as a data analyst, data engineer, or data scientist. In which section or in which segment you are currently, or you want to become any of the one, in which one you are interested or you are currently. Like I mentioned I started as a data engineer, and currently I am a cloud solution architect. So yes, I'm coming from data engineer side. So now I know both side. Okay, like in the data scientist, what they are looking for, and the data analyst also they are looking for. So now currently what you are, or what you want to like achieve. Maybe it might happen you are not coming from the data background, but yes, this webinar you have joined because you are interested into the data domain. So that's why, like, just put down the question, like, okay, in what domain you are interested or you are currently. So you'll get see that, okay, how many people are coming from the different backgrounds here. Okay, so meanwhile I can see people are typing. we can see in the data engineer or data analyst or data scientist, what are the different type of coding or programming languages or sections that you need to work on. Okay, so we generally like people used to come, okay, hey, I want to do a DP203 certification, or I want to become a data engineer. But before that, okay, there are some prerequisites that you should know. Okay, like here in whatever segments you are going, there are few key fundamental things that you should be aware, or that is going to become. Okay, so it's not like pure coding you should be end to end in any in if you are going in any of the domain, but yes, you should know like, okay, what are the fundamental things or what are your core area or job role that you are going to be work. So let's take an example. You are coming from a data engineer background. Okay, so on that case here, as a data engineer background, first of all, few programming skills you should know, that is a SQL, that is must, because here we are talking about data, but where this data is going to come or it's going to be stored, either in the database or in the data warehouse. So for that you should definitely know SQL. Okay, second thing, you should know the Python, or now your big data also comes in the picture, so PySpark. Okay, so Python or PySpark, these things you should know. So SQL is a must. Okay, before storing, because we are going to store the data or do the calculation on the data. Second is basically for doing the transformation or to make the data readable, we will going with the Python or PySpark. So here your big data you should know. Okay, that Spark concepts comes in the picture, Python comes in the picture, and SQL thing. And after that, all the ETL things you should know, ELT concepts, you know how data warehouse things work. So everything is going to come under your data engineering thing. That will be your key skills area. Then the data analyst, it's not proper a programming thing that they are looking for. In the data analyst, they are looking basically you should be good in visuals, or you should be good in the designing side, where as I mentioned, like couple of different tools they have, like you can go for any of the one, like I'm interested into Power BI, I'm interested into Looker, I'm interested into Tableau, ClickView. So any of the visualization tool and how it's going to be work, what is data modeling, that you should know. Plus SQL also going to be helpful for you for building your expression or to understand the logic. So here also, if you are coming from the SQL background, that is add-on. But yes, it's more focused into the tool based, like which tool you are using for doing the analysis or doing the data visualization. Then the next you have is the data scientist. Now data scientist is a, like a very vast. Within that you are working as an AI engineer or ML engineer, or you are working into the production side. So for that, preferably on the language side, again, you know Python, okay, where you have some open source API modules available related to machine learning side, like Cbun you have, Matplotlib you have, okay, Pandas, NumPy. So these are some modules that is inbuilt, or that is you can simply import it, that you should know. On the good programming or mathematics or statistics, you should know, that will be helpful for doing the predictions over here. So these are the three different segments. As per that, you have a different job roles, and as per different responsibility, plus you have a different set of skill sets needed. Okay, so yes, if you are coming from completely non-tech background, like let's say I'm completely a non-tech guy, I have never done a coding in my college, I'm coming directly straightforward. But yes, I can see everyone is talking about data, everyone want to become a data go to data domain. So where should I start? You can go for, in that case, you can start with the data analyst here. Because data analyst, it's not like you need to be hardcore a coder over here who should know each and everything. Basically, it is going to helpful for you to start to enter into the data domain. Now from here you can start learning the SQL, building the logic, reading about or understanding your data. Then you can slowly move into the data engineering section. If you are coming completely non-tech background, like you are coming from the BCom or from the different segments, or maybe the sales or finance domain, so in that case you can start with the data analyst side, because they are is completely new into the data side. Then after that you can move into data engineering or data scientist also. That completely depend how much efforts. Yes, learning is already there, always there, so you need to be more proactive to learning and grasping the thing. But yes, if you can move later on in the data engineering or data scientist, any of the domain. Okay, now I can see that, okay, for the non-IT already I covered that. Okay, for non-IT you can start with the data analyst. That is a beginner phase, because it's not basically a completely coding based. It's basically coming up for a tool based, where you can install Power BI desktop in your system and start learning from here. That is also fine. Now, if we talk about how a data professional, or maybe what are the key tools things are going to comes in the picture. So yes, as a data guy, you need to work with a different type of data. Okay, so first of all, we do have like a different type of data available. Like we have a structured data, we have unstructured data, and we have a semi-structured data. So structured data is basically already a relational data that you are getting. Okay, and on that you can do the fact dimension relation. So that is your structured data. Like I'm getting data from Oracle DB, or I'm getting data from some SQL relational databases. Okay, so that is your structured data. Then unstructured data, you can see I am getting data from some images, videos, JPG file, PNG file, MP3, MP4 file, binary file, log file. Okay, that has comes under the unstructured data. Okay, where every time the data is coming up, it's not basically predefined or unstructured. We don't know what type of data we'll getting next. Okay, it's completely ambiguous data. Structured data is basically it's always coming up in a predefined schema where you have a tabular format, you have a specific relations you can maintain between two different tables, you have a primary key, foreign key concept that is comes under your structured data. Or semi-structured data kind of data is coming up in the key value pair. Like if you have seen JSON data or JSON files or packet file, Avro file, XML file, HTML file, these all are example of the semi-structured data where data is not going to store in the tabular format. It will be stored in the key value pair where you have a key like name, first name, and then the associated value is Diksha. Okay, then again the second key is surname, and then associated value is Sharma. Okay, so you have data not in the tabular format, in the form of the key value pair where you have a respective value coming up associate with the associated keys. So you might be getting data from the different sources. Like okay, here if you see, I am getting data from okay, yeah. So if I'm getting data from, for example, from SAP, that is also a CRM tool. If anyone is aware, or maybe not, then maybe we'll cover. So that is a different tool, like, or maybe you are getting data from SharePoint, from OneDrive, anywhere. Okay, so I do have a different sources, and generally when you're going for the interview, also these type of questions are going to be asked. Okay, like what type of data you have handled, what are the sources, what type of file format you are handling, what is the frequency of arriving the data. Okay, what is the volume of the data that you have handled. So when you are going to start, you should know the whole story. Okay, like okay, I'm doing the transformation, but what exactly transformation, what is the need, where this data come up, okay, what is the format. So you should know end to end whole story over here. So in this case here, you can see you might have a different sources data. Sources means I'm talking about from where data got generated. Okay, so your data might be generated from the different sources, and it could be in the different format. Like from the SAP, you are getting a CSV or Avro file. From SharePoint, you are getting Excel file. From some servers, you are getting a zip file. So you might be getting different file format over here. Okay, and every time it's not necessary. If I have like a 4 different sources, from every sources I'm getting data in the same format. We might be getting data from the different sources and the different format also. Some might have a different zip file, some has Excel file, some has a CSV file. Okay, and on top of that, you do have a different schema also. Some has a 16 column, some has a 20 column, some has 2 column also, and some are just generating dummy files, right? So here you might have a, like a different format of data. That is basically your raw data, or it's not like as per the business use case what they are looking for. Okay, so it's completely raw data that could be consumed for the different use case. So raw data we are referring, whatever data is coming up, we are going to take that as it is. Okay, so on that basis, we are going to use a different tools that is available on Azure. Now, if I'm going to talk with respect to Azure, in Azure itself, you have a different component or services available that you are going to be used as a data professional. Okay, like if I'm going to do onboard data from different sources, as I mentioned, like my data is coming up from the SharePoint, my data is coming up from the like on-premises server, from SAP, from Salesforce, okay, or from Snowflake. So there are different tools like AWS, from AWS data is coming up, or GCP coming up. So in that case, you do have a different sources available. Now we need to bring the data at one place. Like for example, all of you are interested to learn Azure, but first thing is I need to bring up on the same platform. For that, we are using this webinar link, right? So same thing for bringing up everyone in every data in the same place, we are going to use a ingestion. Okay, we are going to put the data into the data lake. Now, data lake is basically, as per the name itself, it suggests lake of data where you can put any kind of or any format of data. where you don't need to define any schema or anything over here. So it supports no schema data read. No schema I'm saying means where you don't need to define any kind of data. Okay, like hey, I have 11 column here, I have 2 column, I have like a 16 column. So it supports no schema data read in this case. So in the no schema side, I can put any kind of data, any volume of data, okay, and the data could be coming up from the any sources. I just need to integrate this properly. That is your no schema is going to be support. Now, as I mentioned, you are getting data from the different sources, but it's not like always it is useful. Okay. And as it's not always useful, so we cannot directly consume it for the or business use case. Consume it means here, if I'm going to build a Power BI dashboard, right? So it's not necessary that, okay, I'm going to consume the whole data as it is, whatever data or file format I'm getting, right? So that's why here we are going to simply doing some ETL or transformation logic that is going to be helpful for you to understand what type of data is going to consume by your management. Like this is something your management team is going to be consumed, right? So this is your Power BI team. So we were talking about when you have a different data sources available, and with respect to that, how we can do the data onboarding, first of all, from the different sources. Let me, yeah. So here basically, when you have a different data sources are coming up, okay, like I'm getting data from Snowflake also, or I'm getting data from the other platform also. So here basically with the help of this one, we are going to simply organize or onboard the data into the data lake. That is your centralized location. And as I mentioned, it supports, I'm not sure, maybe you guys dropped in between. So it supports a schema-less data load. So that's why here we are going to, it is going to simply onboard it here. Okay, as it supported the schema-less data. So whatever format of your data is there, it is going to be onboarded in the simply your data lake area, right? Where I don't need to define first thing is what type of file it is, what is the volume of the data, is the column is same, is the schema of all the files are same. Okay, it might be getting, you are getting data from a different location, you can simply put it down or dumping into the data lake. So data lake is basically lake of data where any format of the data or any type of data you can simply put it, and then later on you decide, okay, what I need to do with this data. Okay, it might happen you need to consume it as it is, it might happen you need to do some transformation, you need to do some cleaning on the data, you need to standardize some data, that you can later on decide once you dump your data from the different sources in the centralized location. Now how we are going to decide? For that you need to do the ETL operation. Now what is the ETL or ELT? So you have to do the different extraction, transformation, or load. For that also in the market we have a different tools available. So or you can do through code also. Like if you are coming in Azure, we have ADF, Azure Data Factory, or you can use the Synapse pipeline, or you can use the Fabric pipelines. And if you are going in AWS, you have AWS Glue. If you are going in GCP, you have a GCP Data Flow or Data Proc. Apart from that, you have an Informatica Power Center, you have a Talent, okay, or you have a Alteryx, you have Aviento, okay, you have a DBT. So there are n number of different tools are available that you can use for ETL or ELT expression over here. Now, as we are getting data in the data lake and it has been stored in the raw format, we need to decide, okay, what type of data is going to consume by your management people or with your Power BI members. Okay, because Power BI guy is going to showcase the data to your managerial people, right? That we have seen that the reports are going to build and that is going to consume by the admin guys or your management people to take the decision that, okay, how or where the sales has been done. So now your management guy comes over here. So in this case here, you need to understand what type of data you need to provide them to a Power BI guy or visualization side, okay, or on the data analysis side. So on that basis, that respective transformation you need to perform. And then the clean data, curated data, you are going to put it into the data warehouse. That is going to be your target. You can use a database also if the data volume is less. If the data volume is high, you can use the data warehouse. So actually we have a three different concepts over here. You can see that, okay, first of all, we have a data lake. Second, you have a data warehouse. Okay, that second, then you have is a DB. Let me erase it. Yeah, then you have a database, that is your DB, and then you have a data mart. Okay, so this database, data mart are subset or basically depend what is the data volume. On that basis, you are going to use it. Let me know if you know the answer, put it down in the chat so we'll understand, okay, how many of you are already familiar what is data lake. data warehouse, data mart, and database. Okay, four different things. What is the difference between a data lake, data warehouse, data mart, and database? Okay, so comment down the answer in the chat and we'll see how many of us are already aware about this terminology and maybe we are using it someplace, okay, in with respect to your project, or maybe you have started reading into the data side. So these are some common terminology. If you are working in the data side, you should be going to use this either as a source or as a target. Any of the place you are going to use these components. So it's not related to only Azure. If you are going with any cloud, okay, I'm going in GCP or I'm going in AWS or maybe I'm using on-prem also, I'm not using cloud. Then also you are going to use any of the tools or you should be familiar with any of the terminology over here. Because if you are going to give the data warehouse interview also, that time also these type of questions are going to come. So let me know what you understand the difference between the data lake, data warehouse, data mart, and database. Okay. So I'll be covering all the questions at the end, but yeah, to make it more attractive, you guys can put down your comment in the chat that, okay, what is the difference between these four things? And then maybe we'll come back on this. Okay. Now coming back to Azure perspective, and in Azure side, there are multiple tools or services are available. You might be using, it could be related to your data lake or your Synapse, Data Factory, Databricks, Logic App, okay, or storage. So these different components you might be using at a different places. So how and where you are going to leverage all these things over here. So first of all, as I mentioned, we do have a different sources available, right? From there, you are getting different type of data. Okay, so first of all, you might be getting structured data, you might be getting unstructured data. I already talked about this in the beginning. You might be getting structured data, unstructured data, or semi-structured data. So if you are getting some log file, that should be unstructured data. You might be getting some images, that will be again in unstructured data. You might be getting some JSON file, that is your semi-structured data. You are getting some Oracle data directly coming up or populating, that will be your structured data. So it depends what type of changes you have. And as per that, like what is your source or what type of data you have, you are going to simply use different type of ingestion process. So if we talk about with respect to Azure, I already told that there are multiple different ETL tools are available. On Azure, we have ADF. On AWS, we have AWS Glue. In GCP, you have a GCP Dataflow or Dataproc, and you have Informatica. Okay, Informatica Power Center, that is also on the cloud. Talent, okay, Alteryx, Abientio, DBT or Databricks also people are using now in the ETL. So these are the different tools. So if you talk about in the Azure, you have a ADF, that is a ETL tool. Now ETL stand for, you guys can put down in the comment, ETL stand for, and what is the difference between the ETL and ELT. And I hope people who are following me on the Instagram, these type of question I used to ask, so you guys have already know the answer. So I can see some people are coming up from there also. So yeah, you guys can put in the chat, and these type of things are basically very fundamental thing. It's not related to the data side. You know, if you are coming into the, you are working already, you should be aware. Okay, what is the ETL and ELT? So, and I have already explained also in the previous slide. So I need to ingest the data. So first of all, I'm going to do the extraction and loading the data. Okay, and then I'm going to understand what logic I need to do, what standardization I need to do. So I'm going to extract the data from the different sources. Then I'm going to load it into the Azure Data Lake storage. So it's a type of a storage available on Azure. It's a type of a component or resource. People who are not familiar about Azure, so it's a type of a storage that is going to be work like as a data lake. Like I already mentioned, data lake where any type of data you can put, and any kind of without defining any schema, it supports schema-less data load. Okay, so data lake we are going to use as a primary storage where any kind of data we can put. So with the help of data factory is not holding any storage. Okay, data factory is just picking up the data from the source and loading into the target. It does not hold any storage. It is going to just pick up the data and load it over here. So we just need to configure, okay, what is the source, this is our source, and this is our target, and with respect to that, data will be ingested over here. We don't need to do manually here. We can simply build the pipelines, and then with the help of that we are going to do the ingestion. Now as data lake is on Azure environment, we can decide, okay, what we need to do with the data. You need to basically do the transformation, or maybe I don't need to do the transformation. I need to do some standardization, I need to do some cleaning up on the data. All these things we can take care over here. Then after that, we are going to prepare or train the data as per the business need. Like that your at the end, maybe data scientist is consuming or your data analyst is consuming. So here basically we are going to do the data preparation, data training, data transformation. By the way, in Databricks also you can build the machine learning model. So it's a completely ecosystem for data analyst, data engineer, and data scientist. So yeah, in here basically in the Databricks you can use, or you can use a data factory also for doing the data preparation, cleansing, transformation, data training. And for that you can use your PySpark code, Scala code, any languages you can use. It supports 6 different languages also as per the Spark. Here you are going to write down the code, but this is a basically code free tool. Here you don't need to write down any code, but in Databricks you are, yes, you are going to write down the code. So that's why I give the background that okay, as a data engineer if you're planning, or as a data analyst you are planning, or data scientist, you should know at least SQL. Then here basically at the end you are going to store your data either in data warehouse or SQL. And I can see that people are mentioning okay difference between SQL and database or data warehouse also. So that is also like the same. So you need to see what is the volume of your data. If I have like a terabyte of data or petabyte of data, basically I'll go with the data warehouse. But I have like a some kind of a small relational data or entity I want, I can go for the SQL also. Okay, that is your relational databases. So database I'm going to choose when I have a like a smaller subset of data, but I have a petabyte of data, huge big data that I need to maintain or do the data modeling. I'm going to choose the data warehouse. So on Azure for SQL, we have a SQL Managed Instance, Azure SQL DB, Elastic Pool, and SQL with VM. But in with respective to SQL data warehouse, we have a Synapse on Azure. Now Fabric also has introduced, so that is basically the entire different story they are launching. Then later on, you can consume with respective to BI tool, any visualization tool, but this is purely promoting Microsoft products. So that's why you can see Power BI only mentioned, but yes, you can use any visualization tool that you can use for the analysis purpose. So that is the whole story. Now our job role comes over here to provide the data till this point. Okay, now where we are going to do ingestion, storing, preparation, transformation, everything, and then later on your data scientist or data analyst are going to consume from here. But we are going to do the complete integration from source to providing data trail target that could be consumed for the different use cases later on. Okay. So I guess we are good till this point, and we get some insight where we are, what we are going to do, and as a data side, okay, how we are going to play around with the data. Basically, you need to do the ingestion, storing, preparation, and multiple things over here. Now, with respect to that, if we talk about okay, if I'm interested into the certification also, okay, whatever things you have tell that is quite interesting, and now I want to go on a professional level if I'm going to do some certification. What are the certifications I can plan from Microsoft side? Okay, each cloud has their own certifications plan. So on Azure perspective, I'm talking. So these are the certification path you can choose for, where Microsoft has categorized in 3 different segments: fundamental, associate level, and expert level. Fundamental level basically divided into 3 sections. And this is for everyone. You might know already about the certification, but you are interested to do. You might not know and you are planning to start. So in that case, also you can simply look into that screen, and this is going to be helpful for you in that case. First one is the AZ900, that is your Azure Fundamental certification. It will cover entire story related to Azure, how Azure is going to charge, how Azure terminology comes in the picture, how it's going to be work, everything, right? So in this case here, everything end to end is going to be covered related to Azure on a fundamental level. Then DP900, that is a data professional, data fundamental. DP900 series is basically for the fundamental series. So AZ900 Azure fundamental, DP900 is basically Azure data fundamental. It is going to be more focused into data related thing. Then AI 900 is going to more focus into the artificial intelligence related thing. What are the key components we have on Azure platform? So these are the 3 fundamental. And if you are completely new on Azure and you are planning to start, I would recommend to start from here. Okay, AZ900. It's not mandatory to have a fundamental certification, but yes, it's good to have before jumping into the associate level. You should go for the AZ900 at least. Then after that, you have an associate level of certification. In the associate level of certification, we are going to cover basically as per the job role specific. Okay, okay, I'm coming up as a security guy. So I'm interested into Azure, but I'm interested into the security aspect services on Azure. So I can go for the AZ500. That is a security one. Okay. So you can plan basically which one you are interested. So AZ104, that is your Azure administrator. Azure administrator is basically take care about managing the access, granting the access, revoking, and managing the group administrator thing, Active Directory, everything will come over here. Okay, that is under the Azure administrator. Then Azure developer, if you are more into the front end side, API management, development side, you can go for the AZ204. Then after that, here you have AZ500. Like I am more into the security person. Yes, I am going to work on the cloud, but with respect to security, like virtual network security groups and everything is going to become. So then we are going to cover over here that, okay, what are the security constant services you have. Then you have a DP203. This is going to be your Microsoft certified data engineer associate. And for that, basically, we are talking in detail. So that is your DP203. So DP stand for data professional series. So if you are planning to do a certification on the data engineering, you can go for DP203. Then you have a DP300. And if you are planning to do for database administrator, like I'm quite good in the database side in the SQL and DB admin task I'm currently doing and now moving into Azure. So which one is good? So you can go for the DP300. Then I'm planning to do data analyst one. Okay, like Power BI specific because Power BI is also a Microsoft tool. So you can plan for PL300. Okay, so that is after completing the PL300, you will be Microsoft Certified Data Analyst for Power Platform. Okay, so these DP series for Data Professional, PL series for Power Platform services. So PL300 you can plan for in that case if you are planning to go into the data analyst section. Then you have a DP100 that is basically for data scientist role. Okay, that we already discussed. If you are going to use a machine learning workspace or AI services on the compute services or cognitive services, you can go for the DP100 series, DP100 exam. That is Microsoft Certified Data Scientist exam. And then third is the AI 102, that is Artificial Intelligence Associate Engineer. And all these associate one is basically 2-star batch. So for fundamental, you will get 1-star batch. For associate level, you will get 2-star batch. Okay. And inside that, it's not mandatory that, okay, you need to complete the fundamental, then you have to go over here. But if you are planning for AI 102, I will recommend to go for AI 900. If you are planning for other certification, would recommend to go for AZ 900. Okay, that is a fundamental because it will make yourself clear about the Azure terminology. Then you can plan, okay, as per the job specific, I can go with. Then the third, you have expert level, that is a 3-star certification. That is, as of now, we have two, AZ400 and AZ305. So AZ400 is basically DevOps solution expert, and it will give you a 3-star one. And the AZ305 is Azure solution architect. That is going to give you 3-star badge for the architect level. Now, for expert level, these are mandatory that you should go for either AZ104, like I am planning to do for AZ400. Okay, let's take an example. So for AZ400 or DevOps expert, either I need to clear AZ104 or I need to clear the AZ204. Because I am not like a developer guy, so I can go for the AZ104 also as an admin side. Similar way, if I'm planning for the solution architect thing, then it's a mandatory to complete the AZ104 first. Okay, 204 is not mandatory for 305, but yes, for 305, it's mandatory to complete the AZ104, then you will get the 3-star badge. You can complete, but you will not get the badge until unless you don't have AZ104. So the dark line one is the mandatory, but rest of them are basically optional, you can go for. So moving from associate to expert, it is mandatory to have AZ104, but moving from fundamental to associate, it's not compulsory to have all the one, right? So these are basically high level understanding into the certification side. And I hope now here you will get an idea, okay, which certification is more relevant to you as per your job role. Okay, it might happen you might be working into the front end side and you are not interested into data side, so you can go for the ASA 204. It's completely depend what is your job role and which one you want to go. Okay, so this is basically high level of certification thing. Whatever type of certification you are planning, just drop a message in chat that, okay, I am planning to do AZ 900. For example, I'm new to Azure, so not an issue. I'm planning to do the AZ 900 fundamental series, or I'm planning to do DP 900, or I'm planning to do DP 203, or AZ 104, or AZ 305. Okay, anything. So just drop a message in the chat which one you are interested. So maybe at the end of the after this, like maybe I'll take 5 more minutes, and then after that I'm going to answer all your queries related to the certifications, related to plans and preparation and the classes and everything. Okay, so screen is on this slide is on your screen. Just have a look and see which one you are interested, or maybe any queries on that. put down in the chat. So with related to that, I can help you, or maybe I can give you some idea if you are interested in any of the one. Okay. Or maybe I can share the relevant study material also with you. Okay. So now if we talk about at the end of this webinar, like, okay, we are also, these are the certification. I can share this link with you that, okay, that you can plan for and you can go. Okay. This is direct hyperlink that is coming up from the Microsoft official one. Now, yeah, we are also planning to start. This is basically a pure data professional one. So as I mentioned, so we are also planning to start a data professional batch from coming Monday from 2nd September. Some of you already enrolled, okay, and some of you who are interested to enroll on that, simply write a mail to our basically email ID. You can drop an email to visionarytechmeet@gmail.com. And my ID also, I would request Apurva to put down both the email ID in the chat. And you can visit us on our website also, visionarytechmeet.com. Apart from that, you can follow if you scan this QR code, you will get all the required link on the same. Okay, if you are scanning this QR code from your mobile, like from any scanner, you will get all the required link. You can simply query from there also. On social media also, you can query like on LinkedIn or maybe on Instagram or maybe on our website or maybe as per the given email ID. So already Purva share will be sharing this email ID with you in the chat also, so that also you can refer. But now I'm more interested to show you that, okay, what we are going to cover in this data professional batch. So if I'm going to talk about this is a data professional batch, here we are going to cover related to your Azure fundamental, Azure data fundamental, okay, plus data engineer and data fabric. These are the key things that we are going to cover, and I want to take you to the topics that will be part of that. Okay, I hope everyone has done the scanning. If you want, I'll come back on that. But yes, I'll show you till that time this one. This is the plan that we have made. So it's basically going to cover your these four certification courses: Azure 900, DP 900, DP 203, and DP 600. That is going to cover. And this is basically customized where if I'm completely new in Azure and I want to start as a data professional in the Azure side, so you can, it is going to cover on the three different sections here. And the course curriculum cover approx 45 to 60 hours. Okay, and with related to that, any information you need, you can simply drop me a message or maybe reach out to me through LinkedIn or any of the platform that you have used while registering. Now after that, here basically what are the things we are going to cover. So we are covering from the fundamental of Azure, that is your AZ 900 and your DP 900, that also we are covering. And also you will get a lab to do the hands-on, maybe like Azure subscription. So it's a basically but paid one. So you will be getting a, like a free for 30 days. So you can use it for your lab hands-on purpose. So they will be like in the fundamental, once you activate the lab, after end of every session, there will be hands-on that you have to perform. Because if we are putting from effort from our side, you also have to put and you have to complete the hands-on, and then it will be not like a theoretical that we are covering. It will be basically completely on the real-time projects and hands-on, where how to do and what type of scenario, what type of questions generally is going to be asked related to interview or related to the projects. There are some capstone project has also been designed that is going to be complete by end of every module. Like for example, AZ900 module we have completed, so you have to complete that particular given assignment. Then you have a DP 900 that, for example, DP 900 module has covered. So you have to complete that specific assignment at the end of this one. Also, there is a in-class and post-class things also that you need to do. Second thing is basically DP 203 is going to start at the end of the DAT, where we are going to understand, okay, how your ETL things work, what is the concept, and we are covering about the storage, SQL, data factory, okay, and how you can maintain the different incremental load, data load, okay, or basically do the ingestion. Then after that, we are going to cover what is your Databricks thing. But I can understand some of you are coming from non-big data background, so we'll be covering the fundamental concept of PySpark and Spark also. What is the Spark architecture? What is the syntax? Okay, how you can write down the PySpark code, that also we are covering. Then we will be jumping to the next topic, because here this Databricks is a big topic that preferably going to comes in the picture, where all the Databricks logics you need to understand. Because right now, if you see, if you are applying for any data engineering job, first question they are going to ask related to Databricks only. So we have designed more like hands-on towards the Databricks only, where it is going to cover related to more hands-on things over here. Okay, end to end, like how you can configure, how you can load the data, how you can transform the data, how you can handle the real time data. Okay, how you can do the handle the structure or semi structured data, as well as how you can simply maintain the delta life stable, what is delta lake, Madeline architecture, everything is going to be covered in the data bricks. Okay. Then next we have is a Synapse. Synapse is a data warehouse solution provided on Azure, where how the semantic model will work, what is the Synapse, what is a serverless pool, what is a dedicated pool, okay, how the SCD works, what you how you can build the data flows, and everything is going to be covered in the Synapse. After this, I am going to share the entire detailed TOC also over the email, whoever is interested, and then you can go through, and then after that you can see on that. Then at the end, after TP 203, we are going to start with the DP 600, where a new concept that Microsoft has come up is what is a one lake concept. What is Fabric? How is the Fabric is going to be work? How you can do the data ingestion, notebook creation? Okay, how you can implement the entire data warehouse solutions inside this DP 600. So if you are going to take this, basically we are going to cover this four area: AZ 900, DP 900, DP 203, and DP 600. That is basically your entire data professional journey is going to cover with respect to data engineering side. That is going to include your real-time project experience plus your capstone project. And same, like if you are going to deep dive, okay, so you can mention in your resume also that okay, hey, I built this project, because um as I mentioned, okay, I have also worked into a data engineering, so I know that okay, what type of scenarios comes up, and on that basis, okay, how you need to build the entire project end-to-end solution. So it's kind of a storytelling. Along with that, you need to do the all the hands-on and everything from your side. And all the sessions are recorded. That also you can refer. Plus, what are the case study and everything is going to be designed as per the current demand in the market. So this is the whole topic that we are going to cover and we are going to plan. So right after this, we are going to send that also over the email. That is one thing. Second thing, I am going to come to the questions also if you guys have, and we'll be looking to all your questions. Feel free to add your questions in the chat. Yes, we are providing the labs also. So let me take your questions from. Uh, yes, we are providing the labs also. So timing of the batches we are planning in the first half in the morning, okay, or in the weekend, okay, maybe on the Saturday, Sunday, or in the first half, basically between 9 to 11. Okay, where if it is in the weekday, we are planning to start from 9 to 11, but we are not taking more registrations, like 5 member mix maximum will be there. So as per everyone availability, because all of you are working professional, so on that basis, we are going to like adjust the timing. Okay, because in the first half it depend like what type of timing is going to work, weekend or weekday. But generally, as of now, the plan we have is for 9 to 11. But yeah, everything will be communicated, okay, for all the details. And what other questions I can see? Okay, so Karan, you are interested into AZ104 and AZ400. Yes, I guess you are already coming from that background. So in that case, you can take for the 104 and 400 both. So for becoming this expert level, you should be completing the 104 administrator. But I would suggest if you are planning for 400, go for AZ 204 instead of 104, because kind of lab is similar 204 to 400. Like if you're more interested to go into the DevOps, go for the 204 and 400 if it is required or matching as per your skill. If not, then you can go for the 104 also. Okay, as an MCA student studying AZ 900, I am unsure about the best path to enter the cloud domain. Could you briefly outline the essential step and skill needed to start a career in cloud computing? So in specifically in which domain? Like I have mentioned in the cloud, there are different segments or different domains available. That is basically into your security side, or you have into data engineering side or data scientist side. So specifically in which domain you are interested, Lakshay. So with respect to that, I can help you. Is it 900 is fine for the fundamental, but after that you are interested in what type of domain? That is basically if you're interested into data engineering, you can go for DP203. You are interested into basically into the security or in the front end side, go for the 204 or 500. And on that area, like if you're interested into data one, then you can follow the same path that we have suggested now. Okay. Yeah, I know you are for DP203. Okay, DP203 Vinay also. Yeah.